Here is a 2023 Chevrolet Suburban Premium in iridescent white pearl, jet black leather interior. Is this better than the competition? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over some pros and cons and explain the specs from interior and exterior and take it for a drive. Starting off in the front with premium LED headlamps and daytime runnings. I like how it makes a S that forms and goes into the headlamp assembly with the chrome aesthetic that wraps around, and you still get a bar underneath the Chevrolet badging. It's going to be more bold, but it's also more stylish for luxury. That's why it's all chromed out. If you want it to be dark, you go to the RST. You're getting over 8 inches of clearance. Chrome gonna surround onto the lower open air curtain. And I like how wide the vehicle is because it just stresses dominance. And when you get a Suburban, you're really expecting people to move out the way, and that doesn't stop here. Upgraded 22-inch polished aluminum wheels. Optional Z71 package will include standard 4-wheel drive skid plates, all-terrain tires, recovery hooks, and distinctive black and red exterior elements. Off-road suspension including your Rancho twin tube shocks, 2-speed transfer case, automatic locking rear differential, hill descent control with a high capacity air filter. And even though it's so long, I like how they do a 2-tier. So you get the chrome that's going to surround the door windows, and then they kind of close it here to emphasize a sporty style. And then they give you this long window that just goes into the back with the gloss black, so it looks like the window just never ends, which makes the vehicle visually look longer. And yes, we have the AFM active fuel management, which deactivates cylinders 1, 7, 6, and 4, switching to a V4 to get optimal fuel economy. That is on the 5.3-liter V8 Ecotec 3 with 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque, paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, achieving 15 Mpgs for the city and 20 Mpgs for the highway. Towing maxes at 8,200 pounds, LED tail lamps, and what I was saying by that visual cue, you can see it more so here because it integrates into the rear window. The nice thing about these vehicles, you get the key fob, double tap on that lower button, and if you're tall like me, you can just throw in any objects. And here is that rear windshield wiper, which is tucked underneath the spoiler roof. Double click to open up into 38.2 cubic feet, which is the best in class. Underneath the floor, you have a little bit of storage, and it's also a lot lower than the prior gen because in 2021, we got an independent suspension for the rear. Home plug, fold down the third row electronically, 49.7 cubic feet. Split fold those captain seats, and that's going to maximize cargo to 144.7 cubic feet. It is a wide opening because it's a wide vehicle. It doesn't sit up too high. Like I said, that independent suspension helped with the clearance getting in. Quad exhaust tips. We need to go inside and start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. Going inside with leather seating, 12-way power seat adjustment for the front occupants, heated, ventilated piping, and contrast stitching. We got the running board, so it does make it easy to get inside. Headroom is going to start at 43.3 inches. Legroom at 44.5 inches. It's a wide vehicle on the exterior, and that projects onto the interior. The passenger side gets perforated on the dashboard, contrast stitching, satin aluminum around the air vents, and a little storage cubby right here. It's actually pretty deep. You could fit almost my whole hand inside. Soft materials underneath the infotainment screen with the air vents, the push-pull to put it into gear. The driver's side also receives the wood and the satin aluminum with a lot of buttons here. 10.2 diagonal color touchscreen with navigation, Google built in, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Standard will be an 8-inch, featuring trailering, which you can add your trailer. This also helps for services and showing you how many miles you have on it. Wi-Fi hotspot, my Chevrolet, Google Assistance, the camera layout. It's a reverse camera, full trajectory, and you can expand so you can see for the tow lineup. And here's where all of those buttons come to play with dual climate control settings, 12 volt USB wireless charging pad, and the key fob, if I can get it out of the cup holder, for the Suburban. It's going to be soft where you rest your arms, and you have a little tray area that you can fit your cell phone. I wouldn't do it if you're opening it. It'll just go into the back. A deep storage pocket, leather wrap steering wheel. It's heated, multi-function. And the gauge cluster is a 12.3 digital reader that can go through an array of information for the driver, and it is also fully reconfigurable, so you can change the design layout. And you can also change each panel layout to have it fully reconfigurable for any information that the driver would need, including the turn-by-turn navigation. The dashboard and the door panels more or less configure into each other. We have 10 speakers, upgraded Bose sound system, and it's going to be all soft materials because this is the Premier. One touch up and down only for the front windows, 2 tiers of storage for a larger phone or an umbrella, and on the lower you have an area with a beverage holder. For the back seats, 38.9 inches, 42 inches of legroom. These are adjustable so you can slide it forward or backwards. And because these are captain chairs, my favorite part, you can recline them back to enjoy. It's hot out there. I want to sit and enjoy some of this air conditioning. Going back to the review, you get a third climate control setting, heated rear seats, USB ports with a home plug, storage behind both of the front seats, and there's the air vents that have been keeping me cool. Door panel gets the same materials that are found in the front, so it is soft everywhere, wood inlays, 2 storage tiers, which is the same as the front occupants, with a grab handle to make it easy for entrance. To go to the third row, pretty simple. 2 pulls, and you're going in with the widest opening in class. Closing it down, pretty simple. Pull it back, taking me to 38.2 inches of headroom, 36.7 inches of legroom. Even though the rails are pushed back, you can see butt space isn't too much of an issue because it's a wide vehicle on the exterior. On the side, it is going to be harder materials everywhere. You do get a USB cup holder and a storage area here, and the windows are pushed back. Air vents still in the ceiling, so it does make it a little bit more desirable. Sitting into the center, it's going to be the best for feet and leg space, but in shoulder space, it's not too bad. When you're dealing with wide vehicles, even headroom sitting into the center for the third row is not going to be an issue. 5.3 liter V8 Ecotec 3 AFM active fuel management, which cuts off cylinders 5, 7, 6, and 4, making it perform like a 4-cylinder to get you optimal fuel economy. We're rated at 15 Mpgs for the city and 20 Mpgs for the highway, so you have the motivation. This is a questionable engine for most people because they have seen some recalls and problems with it, but I personally like it because it gives you the optimal fuel economy when you're looking for a V8 option, especially with these larger vehicles. You're over 225 inches long, and it weighs like a mansion, and this is like a yacht on wheels, but it has the motivation and it has the dynamics and it has safety. So when you're considering all of the variables, is this the best route to go? The Tahoe will be similar, but this is going to be a little bit more upscale on the Suburban side. It's also a little bit larger in the interior. You're getting best-in-class cargo capacity. Legroom for the second and third occupants is more than enough, and headroom, you saw every row at 6'3", I can fit without any issues. It's a red light, sometimes it takes forever. As soon as it turns green, we'll come back. But in this case, no. Let's give her a go. It's smooth. Magnetic ride control, you just glide. The leather seats, they're not going to contour you like sport-wise in the bolstering, so it's going to be more on the luxury side. It is a more flat bottom where you put your butt. But overall, I mean, going on a long trip, you're going to really relax. And you can see brakes. It's not going to be the best in class, so you might want to try to do it earlier than later, but 70 to 0 is around 185 feet, so it isn't too bad considering the size of this land yacht. Go into some comparisons like the Jeep Wagoneer, Nissan Armada, Toyota Sequoia. The Wagoneer is going to be the most tech-driven vehicle in the class because you have so many screens. They just go all over the place. Unless you go up the scale to like a Cadillac Escalade, and then you got those 3 screens that just lay out and really stress technology. As for the Nissan Armada, that's going to be the oldest in the segment. The only thing they've really done is a few little touch-ups here on the exterior, and they gave you a new screen. But before we get to that, turn radius, it's going to be about 2 1/4 lane. It's not that bad for the 225 plus lane. And that exhaust filters in and you stay comfortable as you go. It doesn't necessarily throw you back. So it's a very smooth ride, even accelerating hard. Going back to the Nissan Armada, interior space needs some work, and even on the exterior, towing isn't bad, but they haven't done really anything to that model. And as for the Toyota Sequoia, you now have the new iForce twin turbo engine. So you're going to be getting a little bit better fuel economy, but that's why they have the active fuel management for this model. It's going to take me to some pros and cons, and what I like about the Suburban is how comfortable it drives. You don't really hear any exterior road noise. These is with 22-inch wheels, and a lot of that is derived because you hear the exhaust note the whole drive. The screens are big enough, they don't go too much in your face. I kind of wish it was a little bit lower and maybe put the air vents higher up, so that way it's integrated more into the dash. I don't like the little storage pocket that I fit my hand through on the interior specs, only because what are you going to fit in there? A really small phone. You're going to maybe put some hair bows, maybe your sunglasses. It's going to stand out though. The push-pull, I like it better than having it like this, but I would rather have a station gear knob. Where the center is, I like that it's cleaned up with the wireless charging pad. Still, you have a lot of buttons all over the place. So the airplane design comes into the Chevrolet more so than, say, the Wagoneer or the Toyota Sequoia. They're getting a little bit more cleaned up in the design, and this was just refreshed a couple years ago, so it would have been nice that they entertained that. For the second row, I like that you got the air vent station in the ceiling, but you don't have any air vents that station in the center or on the pillars, which would make it a little bit more of that luxury drive. And I understand when you go into Cadillac, you're going to get that in the Escalade. So why do it here? Because then you would be saving $20,000 to $30,000, in which doesn't make sense to go to the Escalade. Cargo capacity is a lot better than the prior gen, and it's just been a carryover. They haven't increased anything there, but since they have added the independent suspension in the rear, it does make the ride a little bit more tight, as you saw for the turn radius also, because the rear wheels are moving independently. The active fuel management, like I said, I feel it's more of a pro than a con, only because you get better gas performance. Instead of going hybrid, you have that option. So you have to kind of pick and choose your battle when you're looking in the times that we're in. Visibility is great. Maneuverability is very easy. It's long. You're not going to really see past the second row. in which you have, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 feet more. Just use the blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control. You have the safety features instilled in the Suburban. And for a long journey or quick commutes, definitely take the kids to soccer practice, and they're gonna feel very luxurious for a fraction of the price of an Escalade. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise website, Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Regal Chevrolet for giving us this 2023 Chevrolet Suburban Premiere for our car review.